Jets. So both teams with 3 points out of 3. And today they face off in Macarthur FC's first game at their home ground, Campbelltown Stadium. And a check of the team news for you. A couple of changes made to that triumphant team against Western Sydney. Anthony Golick replaces James Meredith, who ran himself into the ground on opening night. And Lockie Rose, who really caught the eye, has been replaced by Markel Shushaeta on the right wing. The Spaniard, formerly of Melbourne City, makes his starting debut for his new club. The Mariners, well, just one change for them. They've had less than 72 hours to prepare for this encounter. Danny De Silva and all of his experience comes in to play on a wing for Jaden Casella, who drops back to the bench alongside a host of potential debutants, including Daniel Bowman, Matt Hatch and Max Ballard. What about the goalkeepers in their respective opening games? Both made 6 saves. Adam Federici, fantastic, denying the Wanderers with a string of wonderful stops, and claimed the save of the opening round, although I thought Mark Berighitti was a little stiff. He made 6 saves, including one that kept it out from where the Spiders live, up in the top corner against the Newcastle Jets, one of his former clubs. Mark Bosnich, you must have been impressed with both of them.
Good afternoon, Brenton, and good afternoon to all our viewers. And just a quick word as well. Well done to Macarthur. That welcome to country was absolutely so powerful, it was untrue. But yes, can't wait for today's game. Their opening home game in their very short history for Macarthur. And onto the goalkeepers, 2 of the best performing goalkeepers in the first round, no doubt. Federici just edged it, in my opinion, but you're right, that save, or both saves, but especially the save of the opposite hand that Berighitti made in that second half was absolutely outstanding as well. But really are looking forward to this game. It's a little bit humid outside, as we spoke about before. Expecting rain just before halftime. That may play a little bit of a part in teams being, both sides being a little bit cagey in the first 15 minutes or so. But really looking forward to this clash.
Yes, let's hope both goalkeepers are busy again. Both teams coming off a 1-0 result in their favour. That was in 2020. And what a start to 2021 we had in the A-League yesterday with that double header. Another one coming your way here this afternoon and into the evening a little later in Adelaide. And 14 years ago this week, Matt Simon debuted, and he kicks things off here at Campbelltown Stadium. The Mariners in blue, starting with the ball, and Macarthur in white. Plenty of replica strips in the stands as well, and Jovanovic took control of that situation on the edge of his area. Didn't want Federici to risk getting involved.
That's what good centre-backs always do. And I used to actually say that to all my centre-backs. If the ball's right on your head or if the ball's right on your foot, even though I'm calling for it, you clear it. We'll talk about it later.
Anthony Golick in for James Meredith. Vastly experienced A-League player, including a stint with the Mariners. Anthony Golick, 30-odd games for them. Here's Milligan, such an influence in midfield for Macarthur. Stensness did well, and Nisbet was busy the other night in trademark fashion. Ante Milicic controlled that ball. And the Macarthur FC bench on the right-hand side, I'm told that's a superstition already, because they were on the right-hand side when they came out of the tunnel against the Wanderers at Bank West. They wanted to be on the right-hand side again here. Traditionally, the home team would be on the left-hand side. But superstitions, some people live by them in football. Here's John Rowe, who certainly caught the eye of Mark Bosnich, adjudged best on field in that Wanderers encounter. Played multiple roles throughout the 90 minutes as well, did the former Melbourne City man. Bozanic did well, as Puyol was hunting a turnover of possession. Now Clisby advances. Silver on that left wing. Pass cut out by Puyol. Keep it simple is the cry from the sideline. John Rowe kept on moving for Golick. Jovanovic. Plenty of movement ahead of him on that right-hand side, including Ivan Franjic. That rotation. Jean now the deepest lying midfielder. A moment ago it was Milligan. Now Moody Najjar. Back-to-back starts for him, and a little trick to get past one. Upended by Stensness. And able to find Derbyshire. Good show of strength from Toniek, but Derbyshire blocked it to the advantage of Moody Najjar. And across the face, well cut out in the middle by Kai Rolls. Early pressure for the Mariners' defence. Toniek with the long clearance. Shushnyar alongside Jovanovic in the heart of defence. No chanting allowed under the health protocols in this state right now. So a subdued crowd to start with, but you can still hear those cowbells ringing. 2,000 of them were on sale at the gate for the new Macarthur fans. A smattering of Mariners supporters on that far side as well. Bozanic returned to the A-League the first time with the Mariners since the 2013 Grand Final. With that captain's performance against the Jets.
See how things are shaping up already in terms of the substitutes. Sushieta is going to be playing a little bit more inside than you saw Lachlan Rose the other night from Macarthur. And in terms of Danny De Silva, although he's been given a free role, it's quite obvious in attack. In defence, he's right where Casella is, which is in the second bank of four, right in front of young Clisby. Both sides looking to use three men to bring the ball out to avoid the opening press. Like you mentioned before, is Jean Rowe, sometimes coming out with it and other times Milligan. Bozanic trying to take that role, pretty much so with Central Coast Mariners.
There's one for Quoll. Poked away by Jovanovic. What about the matchup in the two technical areas between the two coaches? Ante Milicic, who succeeded Alan Stajic as Matilda's coach, of course. They both took their countries to consecutive World Cups. Stajic in 2015, when they reached the knockout stage and won a knockout game, went through to the quarterfinals in Canada. And Milicic knocked out in the round of 16 on penalties. And they go back a long way, those two. Played against each other in their youth. And near enough shared a desk together at the FFA for a while there. Know each other inside out to the respective coaches. As Nisbet cuts it out and falls for Simon. His layoff was a little off the mark. Shushaeta utilising Franjic and kept on going, the Spaniard. He's played in by Franjic. Lovely close control and across the face. Too close to Birighitti with Derbyshire on the move.
Good play by Macarthur, though. And we just spoke about before around about the tactical setup. I said our Sushieta is playing a little bit more inside than Lockie Rose has been doing. But then, all of a sudden, he makes that breakout wide. And Central Coast Mariners didn't really know who was supposed to go with him. You see there, number 4, Nisbet, looking and looking to say, well, who's going to go? Eventually, Bozanic comes, but poor cross in the end. But a few red lights flashing there for Central Coast Mariners.
Derbyshire dropping deep this time and opening up the pitch for Franjic. Shushaeta helping it on to Loic Puyol, the Frenchman. Another of the standouts in their opening game. Kept at bay by Jack Clisby on that occasion.
He was outstanding, Puyol, in that first game. Unfortunately, had to come off. Really did find a lot of time and space to be able to do his damage.
Lights have been on for a long time at Campbelltown Stadium. Another gloomy Sydney afternoon in January. As Mark Bosnich forecast, little rain expected during this encounter.
And as expected as well, a little bit cagey, his opening minutes. got to make sure when the humidity or heat is up that you pace yourself in a game.
Just some light drizzle as we speak here at Campbelltown, just to make this beautiful playing surface even more friendly for the players. Franch's header, Genre killed it with the first touch. Overhit Puyol. Rolls, bending one down the line, and Jovanovic all over Matty Simon. That should be a good duel.
Matty Simon sometimes can intimidate central defenders from a physical perspective. It won't be happening today with Shushna and Jovanovic. Two giants.
Well read by Bozanic. Genre took it back. Good scrap in midfield, and Genre upended. John Van Skip, the former Melbourne City coach, took Genre to Holland to play in the Dutch top flight for a while there. Now back down under and hunting that Olympic berth in 2021. Shushna, stylish left footer.
Macarthur just probing both sides.
Birighitti was communicating with Jack Clisby. Thought he was saying keeper, but Clisby elected to play at it. Skimmed off his head for a corner. A bonus one for Macarthur.
He's shaking his head, and I was just about to give Central Coast Mariners a real compliment the way that they're defending at this moment in time, but then they go and do that. That's a shout that can be just let it go. Just let it go. I'm here, calm. No one's around you. Again, coming back to what we said about the pre-match, those little things are so important.
Rolled short. Genre whips it in. Off the head of Stensness. Mariners trying to push out. Macarthur with patience, and now Puyol flighting one for Shushna, who'd stayed forward and couldn't direct the header back across goal.
Good ball by Puyol, but on his left foot as well. Spotted the run from Shushna. Just couldn't get the direction on the header. Macarthur just chipping away at the Central Coast Mariners defence, probing for weaknesses.
The Mariners have a great record against expansion clubs in the A-League. Never lost to one first up. Beat the Melbourne Heart on their opening night at Amy Park, you may remember. Beat Wellington, Western United and Gold Coast first up. Drew with the Wanderers and also drew with North Queensland. That's the task at hand for Macarthur FC, and they become the first start-up A-League club to knock off the Mariners at the first attempt. Shoshayeta popping up in the left channel now for Moody Najjar. Trying to dribble his way through a couple. Here's Alu Kual. Stensness, the New Zealand under-20 international.
Mariners just got to have a bit of a regroup here. Keep some possession. Get in their position, set the play up, make sure everybody's nice and fresh. They don't need that right in this moment in time. This is giving the ball straight back to them.
Federici getting back inside his area, could have picked it up, but saw an opportunity for Genre. Shoshayeta popping up everywhere. Benyat again left in reserve. His former Athletic Bilbao teammate. And Golick, a chance to deliver first time. And Clisby heads clear for a throw-in this time.
He wasn't so sure that time, was he? You go back to the goalie, go away, done well in the end, but really good play again from Macarthur. All started from the early ball down here from Milligan. Like I said to you before, they're probing for weaknesses. Both fullbacks are in midfield, giving them an extra man. And this man here, like you said, Susieta, has run the ball out, but he's been absolutely everywhere thus far. They're looking the goods at the moment. Central Coast are holding out.
Set the record with Athletic Bilbao, 75 European appearances, 500+ games in total for that club. Also played 10 games for Melbourne City, scored a couple of goals for them. That is something else, isn't it? 32 years of age, and he's already got those 500 games with one club under his belt.
He's going to check how many trophies he won, though.
It's tough against the Barcelonas, Real Madrids and Atletico Madrids of the world. Valencia were hot during that period as well.
It's a wonderful achievement.
Sevilla with their Europa League successes as well. Athletic Bilbao with that history of using Basque players.
He won a Super Cup, the España. So the Super Cup would be the cup winners versus the team who finished first.
Poked away by Genre. And those cowbells ring out again. Risky touch by Shushnya, and Nisbet took it away from him. Great hunting and harassing in midfield, and just strike from De Silva. Just sailed over the crossbar, but worth a go.
Good play from Matty Simon and good play from Central Coast Mariners, who have been doing the majority of chasing. But they continue to close down, dispossessed. Another shot from distance. And after speaking to Luke Bratton yesterday, after those two cracking goals, both from him and Nieuwenhof, and we saw a lot of shots coming from the Wellington, I asked them about the balls. We know the balls change every year, and they said that these are, from a playing perspective anyway, fantastically light balls. And if you strike them well, they are true. So, and we saw McManaman's goal as well for Melbourne victory. So this is great for me, and even as an ex-goalkeeper, because there's a real test of technique when people can hit the ball with that type of power from a distance, from your position and perspective, and obviously the technique-wise from the way that you dive.
Yeah, kudos to the manufacturers. They can get it wrong at times. These balls are superb for the neutrals as Najjar delivers deep. Derbyshire took a tumble. And De Silva, that's some touch inside his own area to flick it over the top of Franjic. And touch it inside for Bozanic. The Mariners play their way out stylishly. Are on a 2-game winning streak in the A-League. Won their final game last season against the Victory. And that success against the Jets 3 nights ago. 3-game winning streaks have been a long time coming. Could they pull it off here this afternoon? The last 3-game winning streak was 4 years ago.
Today's referee, Daniel Elder, looking resplendent in the red and black outfit.
Straight from Serie A, the Legia outfits, as Clisby gets forward and Jovanovic heads clear. Clisby can let it go for a corner at that end, he thought, but Franjic denied that one. Just back onside from the throw-in situation. Jack Clisby, and he worked hard again to do that. And the ball to that near post, well guarded by Federici ahead of Qual.
It's the first real opportunity we've seen in attack from Mariners. Danny De Silva done so well. He's going to be heavily watched today. This is the type of thing you can do. Create time and space for others. Not far off from Clisby, but probably with hindsight, could have pulled it back that little bit more. It's good to see Mariners coming back at Macarthur to show, look, listen, we're not just here just to defend. We're going to have a go at you when we can as well.
quite have the angle sorted to play Najjar in. That replay a moment ago was fantastic to watch. Clisby looking across the line, as we always hear, and staying onside, working hard to be an option for De Silva. Nearly paid dividends. Up goes Nisbet. The diminutive one climbed all over Mark Milligan. Spring-heeled effort by the jockey-sized Josh Nisbet. Clisby with strength initially, and then bundled over by Loic Puyol, who was a frustrated Frenchman on that occasion. This is the work by Nisbet. Milligan was staying grounded, and up went Josh. Alu Kuol now on the stretch. And Jovanovic helped out Shushnar. He didn't like the treatment either. Jovanovic, he went after Alu Kuol for a moment. Kept his cool in the end, but a potential flashpoint averted there. Not sure what so upset Jovanovic. He let the young striker know about it. Alu Kuol, the hero on New Year's Eve, with that first half strike against Newcastle.
Central Coast looking for different ways to break the lines. Can't really pass their way through. Looking for those long balls to push the Macarthur Rams back. Sorry, Macarthur balls rather. To push them back so they got a little bit more time and space to play in that middle of the park.
Bozanic, lovely switch, driven out to Stefan Nigro, playing in that right back role again. And when Alan Stajic spoke about him the other night, he was almost overcome with emotion, just delighted with the young man and his effort first up after putting himself through quarantine in Darwin to take up a trial opportunity. No promise of a contract, but he landed one eventually, the former Victory man, Stefan Nigro. But what was going on here as Alu Kuol and Jovanovic came together? I just felt like he lashed out with a leg there. He left one in.
Nah. Handbags. Central Coast searching hard for that through ball. Nisbet even trying to make runs from deep. Kuol, as we know from the other night, he will anticipate and he'll have that energy to make those runs. There's only been one thus far. He's got to be a bit more patient.
Brave header from Jonro. Shushaeda able to run onto it. Jonro back to his feet. Franjic is committed forward here. Shushaeda was looking for him.
They go long again, but balls like that, Jovanovic and Shushnar is going to eat up all day. Balls need to either be in behind them or they need to be dinked in so they can use their bodies to shield the ball. And those two massive centre backs, little floaters like that is meat and drink to them.
Milligan goes back to Franjic, who maintained his width, chips it towards that penalty spot, and Toniek dealt with that one. Simon throws his head back in frustration.
He was poor, but you see how deep he's coming to try to get the ball.
Used so often as a sub last season under Alan Stajic, but back-to-back starts at the beginning of this new campaign for the veteran striker. All three of his goals last season were from the penalty spot, including 2 against the Victory for a rare win last season. Franjic coolly rolled to Shushaeta and across the face, just overhit. He had 3 at that back post.
Just that final ball, but once again, really good play from Macarthur. You see what they're doing. We talked about the humidity that's out there on the park. They're running Central Coast everywhere. Central Coast will be all right in 30, 35 minutes. But they keep running them like this. You're going to get to the point where they get tired, and then when you get tired, mistakes occur. Just the final ball from Macarthur needs to be better.
Let's go down to Tara Rushton amongst the cowbells.
Yeah, I am amongst the cowbells. They're a bit hypnotic. I think I'm going to be hearing them in my dreams tonight, actually. A little bit of a moment there between Mark Milligan just on the ground there. I've got to say as well, a great atmosphere down here with those cowbells. Lots of kids here this afternoon. What about Markel Shushaeta? He's really caught the eye, hasn't he, gents? Drifting from the left to the right, just that final pass and that cut-through opportunity. It feels like that's what Macarthur are waiting for.
Spot on.
Will be done by Clisby under no pressure. To bring it down on the chest, but he then hit the chest of Shushnya.
Give it straight back again.
Shushaeta. Franich is there as an option. Puyol behind him. And the delivery looking for Derbyshire again. Tonyik, his positioning exemplary. And Alu Kuol is on the move, striding out. And Stensness, who delivered the pass to him. Now Nisbet arriving from midfield, and Milligan so composed, but given back to Nisbet. Floats one to Federici.
Got that very quickly. Well done for the Mariners again. Again, just not just accepting the fact that they're being pushed back and defending. Looking to use Kuol's energy. Great anticipation as well for a young man to try to get in behind, even if it is on the break.
Numbers behind the ball again, and Shushaeta left it behind. Bazanik, and Matty Simon is straight offside. That's why he didn't bother chasing. Only 3 changes in total from the 2 coaches on the quick backup. Were you surprised that there wasn't a bit more rotation?
No, not at all. Bottom line is the conditions were very good, especially for the Macarthur Western Sydney Wanderers game. And Central Coast versus Newcastle, not as good as those conditions, but you know, when you're winning and you're playing well, very rarely, I think never, I have to say, I don't like to say the word never, but played in a team where people say I want to have a rest. You're a professional footballer, and I'd rather play games than train all day long.
Mariners get a long rest after this one as well.
And when you're winning, you're not as tired.
Offside against Derbyshire. January 19, their next game against the Wanderers in Gosford. Well, Macarthur get back-to-back home games. They'll host Wellington here on January 9. Really loading up on this near side here, the Mariners. That's where Birighitti will be going, towards Alu Kuol. Milligan reading it well in flight. Tried to take the free kick from the wrong spot. Daniel Elder ensuring it was taken from the right position. Puyol looking to dictate things in midfield.
Having a look at Susieta here as well. He seems, obviously, he just come out of quarantine. He hasn't done all the pre-season work the rest have. Looking a bit tired. He's been so involved. Played so well this first half. He's just looking a bit tired now.
De Silva. Clisby with the overlap and couldn't work the angles the right way there, Danny De Silva. That was a chance to play the left back in behind. Game number 95 for Danny De Silva, who spent his fair share of time overseas as well after that debut in his mid-teens as a Perth Glory player. Now 23 years of age. Another in the right age group for Olympic calculations, but needs to find form to get back in the frame for Graham Arnold.
Mariners putting their 3 up, trying to stop Macarthur from playing out from the back. Federici, experienced enough, is having a look.
Likes the matchup, Golick v Nisbet, and Golick won that header. Tonyik took the ball. He's been strong and physical at the back so far. Big season for Ruan Tonyik. Hasn't been a regular starter throughout his A-League career, but back-to-back starts here under Stajic. The Mariners have still got 3 foreigners to come through that quarantine period. Janota, Urania and Jankovic. They'll be ready for that game against the Wanderers on Jan 19. And spots in the starting 11 will be even more competitive once they arrive. Milligan was screaming for Denny Jonro to try and find him, but Quoll cut off that passing lane. Mariners became so hard to score against at the back end of last season. Stajic worked so hard on that defensive shape, and now they've got a great communicator, Ollie Bozanic, helping to organise things, proving difficult to break down in this opening half hour. Shushnia floats one off Clisby again.
Corner. There he is. He's been excellent the first half. Shusheta, like I said, last 5 minutes or so, he's noticed a little bit of a drop. It's understandable. Spent all that time in quarantine.
Centre halves are forward here. They've got the 2-on-1 to utilise. Opening up the angle. Will they get a ball in? All the way back to a central position for Franjic, who'll angle it for Jovanovic against Tonyik. And he was offside.
Tonyik done well there. Something to defend against. Held his ground, was strong.
That victory against Melbourne at the back end of last season at Cogra was an away game for Alan Stajic. Young Ruiz Diaz was on fire that night, wasn't he? And if they can pull off the away win here, that'll be back-to-back away games with victory in the A-League for the first time in 2,811 days. And Matt Simon could have put them on course for that.
Tell you what, there's a better chance. I think everybody thought should have hit the target there. Once again, Quoll. Should have hit the target. It's the best chance the whole first half, I think. Once again, Mariners showing if you lose concentration against them, especially in behind, that they can hurt you.
John Rowe clipping one over the top. Well waited for Derbyshire, who plays for a penalty. Referee says no. I'm going to book you for simulation and trying to milk a spot kick.
He got up straight away. No need to give him a yellow card. He got up straight away and put his hand up in the air.
There's a swipe from Kai Rolls. Is VAR going to suggest a little look for Daniel Elder? I don't think so.
You see there, Matty Derbyshire got up straight away. Look, technically by the book, he's entitled to book him. There's no doubt about that. But I just thought when he gets up straight away, puts his hand up to say, look, he didn't touch me. But, OK, as long as it's the same for both sides.
year. 4 goals in 3 pre-season friendlies. A couple against the Jets, 1 each against Wellington and Adelaide United. Worked so hard to lead the line the other night. Didn't get too many opportunities in front of goal. He'll be keeping his feet on his next foray inside the penalty area. First booking of the game. Little shank from Milligan, but Franjic was able to get there in time. Puyol whips it across to Shushnia. Genre. And Franjic had stayed onside, across the face. And a heavy touch from Moody Najjar, who tried to control for a 2-time finish.
Heavy touch or not, that was a fantastic opportunity. Don't think he expected it to come through, but he should have been. Another good move from Macarthur, setting up the play so well. A lot of it going down Central Coast Mariners' left-hand side. But Najjar, as we saw the other night, he's got to expect them more. One of the other night, those 2 headers that he had as well, he had the feeling that he doesn't expect it to come through him. He's got to think every time he gets in that box that the ball's going to come to him and that he will score.
Tough ball. Franjic was trying to lift it over the top towards Shushaeta. 3-time championship winner with the Brisbane Roar, Ivan Franjic, who arrived from the Perth Glory in the off-season. That recruitment started for Macarthur FC nearly a year ago now, when Tommy Orr was poached from the Mariners in the final year of his contract with the Central Coast. Here's Nisbet. Negro found him and wants it back all the way through, and poked home by Danny De Silva. And the Mariners are in front in Campbelltown, looking to spoil the party in Macarthur FC's opening game. And what a super finish it was from the number 10.
Fantastic the finish from De Silva. And as we kept saying, regardless of the fact that Macarthur had the possession and were the better side, Central Coast Mariners kept on coming, kept on coming. They had the warning Macarthur with that chance to Matty Simon. And now, the real thing. What a finish that was. Great run. Super play from Nisbet. Once again, so much energy down this right-hand side. But that is a super finish. Absolutely no chance for Federici. And we spoke about the need to keep concentration against the Central Coast Mariners, because they don't just sit, they will still come back at you, and they did. Now 1-0 up.
He's into double figures in his A-League career. Danny De Silva with the first-time strike. And there were 3 options, weren't there? The cutback from Josh Nisbet flashed past a couple of Mariners before De Silva ran onto it. And suddenly there's a bit more urgency as Macarthur FC kick things off, looking for a quick reply. Shushaeta v Nisbet, who's been one of the best on the pitch so far, provided the assist. And he's on the move again here.
A lot of time that does happen to teams who are dominating and are very comfortable. They tend to just get into that mode that was, this is just about us attacking, whatever. And this is why credit must go to Central Coast Mariners. Kept going back at them. Like I said, warning of Matty Simon. And this time, no warning. 1-0 down. This is a real test of their character. New team, 1-0 down after playing well. From a psychological perspective, sometimes that can be debilitating for a team. You're playing so well and on top, and all of a sudden you're 1-0 down. We're going to see what they're made of. Coming back to what we spoke about in the pre-match, this is where you need your senior players, your Milligans, Matty Darvishes, Puyols, to say, come on, let's just keep going. Let's just keep going.
mentioned 3 changes to the starting 11s in total, and 2 of those players, Shushaeta and Danny De Silva, have looked like fresh players throughout this opening half, although Shushaeta is tired, as Mark Bosnich has identified, but didn't De Silva spring into action when that opportunity presented itself. Genre, clever touch. And delivers towards Derbyshire. It was Shushaeta on the end of things and heads over Birigitti's bar.
Heads over. Another good portion of play, but no work for that man there, Birigitti, in the picture. You have to say, if you're Alan Stacic, you're watching your team defend like this, I'll be saying, that's absolutely fine. You let him head from that distance all day long.
Be some morale boost if the Mariners could pull this one off and then welcome the 3 foreigners to the table for their next game against the Wanderers. Long way to go, though. And when does Ante Milicic unleash Benyat Echevarria, who made a difference the other night off the bench? Deep in conversation with some of his backroom staff just moments ago. Ante Milicic. 5 changes available to all of the A-League coaches this season per game. Jovanovic punching one in, and Shushaeta tried to take it on the half turn. Lockie Rose, another option off the Bulls bench after his impressive debut the other night. A player who brings energy with each and every movement. All of the substitutes warming up behind the goal, which the Mariners attack here. This is just what Alan Stajic would want. Spell of possession. And now Bozanic. Oh, lovely touch. Stefan Negro. Nisbet just lost his footing, but able to maintain possession. Franjic got back in time.
Well done to the Mariners again. Looking dangerous on that counter-attack. Sitting in their 2 blocks of 4 and a 2 and defending. Trying to conserve as much energy as possible. And like I said before, then they're going. And it's funny, especially in the heat, possession is king. But you've got to do something with it in the end. Because if you don't, and you just allow the other team just to stand there, and you're just passing it around, it's you that's using more energy.
Using his right peg to find Moody Najjar. Didn't have the angle for the shot. Tonic was blocking that off. Shushaeta turns out for Franjic. Delivery on the left towards Moody Najjar. Negro wasn't sure where it had gone. Tonic there to finish off the job. Oh, Nisbet, that's interesting. A dummy in that situation. And Puyol could have played in Derbyshire, who was comfortably onside, although I'm not sure he knew that.
Good anticipation from Tonic. Macarthur have stepped it up once again in terms of their intensity level, as much as they can with the heat. Another good passage of play from them.
And the Sun has made a guest appearance in Sydney. Don't need the lights right now. Genre. Clisby's been under pressure with those diagonals. Did enough on that occasion. De Silva out to Bozanic.
Super play from De Silva.
Alu Kuol now. Shushnar's in trouble. Alu Kuol to make it 2, and Federici with that strong left hand again.
And there we go once again. Mariners breaking and causing Macarthur problems. You've got to be careful here, Macarthur. All the dominance they've had in this first half, and staring down, going in 2-0 down there.
Such an exciting athlete to watch in full flight, Alu Kuol. And Birighitti will claim that one.
It's a poor cross. Super ball from Clisby. Decent save from Federici. But once again, given the situation, given the time, the ball in behind is causing them problems.
Macarthur FC desperate for a spark here before the break. Right now the Mariners are silencing Campbelltown. Into the 45th minute we go. Patience on display from the Bulls. Rebounds off the head of Nisbet. Simon had a quick glance to see where Federici was. He was well off his line. And that'll do for the Central Coast. Free kick has been earned, and Negro wanted it, left the ball behind, and the referee had not signalled advantage. Just forcing Daniel Elder into blowing that whistle. It's a nothing free kick at the end of it all. So how much stoppage time to be added on? Not a whole lot, you wouldn't have thought. Stephen Lucas about to let Campbelltown Stadium know that there's another 120 seconds to play. Oh, Alu Kuol just blocked off Shushaeta, and he ran into a brick wall, and the referee says that's enough for a yellow card. Brace for contact with the forearm appeared to be the gesture.
They've done well in this first half, the Mariners. On the back foot for pretty much all of it. If you look at the work that their goalkeepers had to do, I can't remember Birighitti having to make a real serious save. And for all their possession, Macarthur, like I said, that final pass, speed of the play in that last third of the pitch as well. Even though you can balance that out, like I said, because today is a humid day, so they've got to be careful of the intensity.
Genre slices one. Shushnar has been found. And away by Tonic. Yet again, Puyol can't keep his follow-up shot down. And that should be enough for the Mariners to see their way to half-time in front.
Good defending once again by the Mariners. Plans working well for them.
And when you spoke to Alan Stajic before the game, he said maybe Alu Kuol 45 minutes. Does that yellow card
no, yellow card
force that decision?
No, yellow card will have nothing to do with it. He said, when I say he, I mean Stajic, who said, he said 45, so we'll see. But right at this moment in time, I'd be asking him because, you know, he's a danger.
So pretty quiet at Campbelltown Stadium because Danny De Silva's 10th A-League goal has put the Central Coast on top of Macarthur FC at the break. in the Bulls' home opener. Terrific performance from the Central Coast, rarely under pressure, and they lead at 1-0 at the break. Let's go to Tara Rushton now, who'll have a chat to Ivan Franjic.
Ivan, they've caused you a fair few problems in this first half. From your perspective, what needs to change? Ivan, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've caused you, the Mariners have caused you a couple of problems in the first half. What needs to be tweaked?
The problems have come from our own mistakes. We just need to keep the ball better and move it faster.
How are you going to create some more clear-cut opportunities?
Obviously, faster ball moving out wide and then cut them through the middle when we get the opportunity.
Yeah. Thanks, Ivan. Best of luck in the second half. All right, we are off to a short break here live from Campbelltown Stadium. On the other side, I'll be joined by Mark Bosnich to wrap up all of the grouping action between Macarthur FC and the Central Coast Mariners, who lead 1-0. We'll see you soon.
I feel so alive.
Broken down, eh, Keith? Oh dear. Some insurers don't offer free roadside assist for a year, but Amy does, with a new Amy Comprehensive Car Insurance policy. Does your insurer offer this? Amy does.
When your community needs help, you can make an impact in the Army Reserve. You'll do more than hope people are all right. You'll make sure they are. You'll do more than hit the like button. You'll hit the ground running. You'll do more than just read about a crisis. You'll help the people facing it. Just work from as little as one night a week, one weekend a month, or a few weeks a year. To find a role near you, search Army Reserve.
Are you tired of second-rate service from your telco? Here's 10 reasons why it's time to switch. Aussie Broadband has won the CanStar Blue Award for most satisfied NBN customers 2 years in a row. That's not 5 stars, that's 10. How do we do it? With all Australian support, Australia's fastest home NBN plans and unlimited NBN plans starting from $59 a month. It's no surprise we're the reigning champions of customer satisfaction. Enjoy our 10-star NBN experience and switch to Aussie Broadband today.
With incredible drive-away plate clearance offers on selected Lexus SUVs, find your way at the Lexus Summer Event. On now.
Pretty soon, the amount of super paid on top of our wages will go up. And up. And up. And up. All the way to 12% guaranteed. That extra money will make a big difference when I retire. Put my feet up. You see, your future is even more super.
Tried Hungry Jack's Flame Grilled Big Jack? Then meet the new Chicken Big Jack with 2 crispy chicken patties and special sauce. Big Jack beef or Big Jack chicken. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
I used to think I was nothing like my father. Truth is, my father is a part of me. We get to catch a killer.
Hold on to your heads.
The life of a serial killer's son. It's a psycho roller coaster.
My boy, he needs me.
I'm gonna be free.
The new season of Prodigal Son begins Wednesday, January 20 on Fox 1 or watch on demand.
Your home of football, Fox Sports, where we are at Campbelltown Stadium, the home of the Macarthur Bulls, but it is the visitors, the Central Coast Mariners, who are in the lead. Danny De Silva, what a goal it was from him. Potentially say a little bit of an upset could be on the cards. Welcome back from Tara Rushton. It's great to have your company and to be joined by Mark Bosnich. Well, what a first half, Bozza. I guess you could say Macarthur really struggled to fashion those clear-cut chances, but from the Mariners, great.
Well, the Mariners went exactly to plan. You have to give them a lot of credit. Look, Macarthur haven't played bad at all. They've actually played some really good football. They've been in total control for the vast majority of the half, but they've been caught on the break, and they've been caught on the break not just once with the goal, but twice. Matty Simon had an excellent chance as well. And here it is right here. Nisbet, who's been full of energy down this right-hand side, cuts the ball in, and Danny Da Silva, that's all class. That's an excellent finish. And it gave him a real jolt, you have to say, to Macarthur, because like I said in the commentary, you know, sometimes when you're in such control and you're playing so well, sometimes you can get into that mode of thinking, oh, you know what, they're not going to be no threat. But Mariners consistently showed throughout that first half that they weren't just going to sit, that when they could, they were going to try to break, and invariably trying to get in behind, which was a really good game plan, especially the fact, as we know, and we spoke about this earlier, it's very humid down there. So when it's very humid, you can't play at the same intensity that we saw, for example, the other night Macarthur play and Western Sydney Wanderers play. So you got to pick and choose, and possession is king. But to have possession doesn't mean exactly you're going to win. And coming back to what you said originally, is what you do with it. Now, in that last third, they have been a little bit ponderous in that last third. Up until that fine, when I say ponderous, it needs to sharpen up, okay? When it's hot, we understand you can't go all the time like that. So, but when you go, it's got to be at 5th and 6th gear. It can't be exactly the same pace that you've been passing around in the first 2 thirds.
Looking at their chances overall from Macarthur FC perspective, Markel Susayeta, yes, he's been dangerous, drifting from the right, Boz, drifting to the left. It's like they can't find that final pass, or that final option.
Final pass has been the story, and you've got to give credit to Central Coast Mariners for that. Their defence has been absolutely excellent. They've covered up all the spaces, all the alleys, if you like, the pockets, and they've been very, very good with that. Like I said, another thing I've been looking at, I didn't see a lot of number one, shooting. We know with the ball, we saw those 2 wonder strikes, well, 3 you have to say if you include McManamans, the 2 wonder strikes from Sydney. They need to start shooting a little bit from outside the box, and also 1-2s. Now, 1-2s sound so simple, but not so simple to play, but they are absolutely devastating. And when you're talking about 1-2s, they've got to zip it in and look for that, either the player who's played the pass or also the third man running. Those are the type of things that are going to dislodge this very, very good Central Coast defence, who are very disciplined in their 2 blocks of floor and a 2. They haven't really got a giant up front in terms of, you know, to play high balls. That's another option pretty much out the way. But those first 2 things I just mentioned, that's what they've got to try to look at.
Yeah, Alu Kual for the Central Coast Mariners have looked really dangerous as well at the cusp of half-time. We've got more football heading away live on Fox Sports. Straight after this game wraps, we head to Adelaide. Adelaide United and Melbourne City go head-to-head. We're joined by City's head coach, Paddy Kisnorbo, right now. Paddy, thank you so much for joining us. You've made the trip to Adelaide. Tell me, how are you going to get it done today, especially without Andrew Naboot and Adrian Luna, who obviously is out with a red card?
Yeah, look, obviously we know, coming to Adelaide's a tough place, but we'll miss those 2 players, but it's